My dad is outraged at the fact that most young people can no longer read analog clocks, and I ask if he expects everyone to read sundials as well. When he attempts to further this argument, I do not rebuttal. I simply ask him for the time. He looks around, cannot find a single analog clock anywhere in sight, and it is only then when he sees my point, yet chooses to die on the hill of his generation. And I don't go back and forth. I don't argue with his old head. I let that shit go. Because after all, a clock is a clock, and ain't nobody got time for that. But what happens when these hands hold a different conversation? When perspective is relative to our generations, when discrimination transcends both space and time, and empathy is a fourth dimension. My dad makes a transphobic remark, calls them, it. I correct him. He sees my point, yet chooses to die on the hill of his generation. And I don't go back and forth. I try my best to let that shit go. I tell him ain't nobody got time for that. But it feels like I should make some. And here's the thing. My dad is not a hateful person, but he hasn't adapted with these hands of time. And this keeps my mind spinning with questions like, do children grow up into adults only to cycle back into childhood? If so, is it up to us to re-educate their old stubborn asses? Does a mind even maintain malleability, or does it crack from the cognitive dissonance if the body will eventually die because we eventually stop adapting? Is this also true for the mind too? You know, there's once a time where the concept of love was just as foreign as the theory of relativity, yet they both have always existed through time. And I like to believe we all have a problematic relative who says some problematic shit, yet we have always loved them through time. My dad is not a hateful person. He just hasn't adapted with these hands of time. And I haven't adapted not to choose love. I haven't adapted to function without a heart. This involuntary muscle moves like clockwork, pulses to the pace of my compassion. If I love to a fault, I have died a good human. And is this not the purpose of life? For each generation to do better than the last? To be more good? To be more human? To live life like love is the language of the fittest? Survival of this lineage? No, this is not an excuse for people who are shitty humans. This is choosing to be a better one in spite of. My dad is not a perfect person. And hell, neither am I. But I like to believe my heart is stronger. I like to hope my love is bigger. I like to think I will do better in the future with things I have yet to understand. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I guess only time will tell.
All right. All right, and now